Coach, year 5 into the second stint with this program. How far do you feel this build is?
Well, everything is a lot better than it was when we got here. And, whether it's the culture is maturing, the pipeline full of talent is close to full, facilities much, much better. Academically, our guys, in the weight room were more mature and developed. So that's what, we're a developmental program, and that's what it takes. It takes time to just build it step by step, but I'm pleased.
What changes are different from your first stint with the program compared to when you came back?
Well, we started out at a much better place facilities-wise and those things, and we're playing in the Big Ten Conference. That's the biggest difference, right? The fact that, being in what I believe is the ultimate conference in college athletics, right? In football, it's the sweet spot between elite football and elite academics. And no matter how much there's NIL and transfer portal and all those things, it's still college football. So to have the academic institutions we have in this league yet play at the level that we do, that to me is what it's all about.
What kind of changes and challenges does 4 new teams, 4 big programs bring to this conference?
Oh, I think it brings a lot. Number one, the biggest challenge is 4 really good programs, right? So just up the level again, which I love. But then there's the travel, right? I mean, you're talking about tip to tip, New York to LA, New York to Seattle. So you're talking about, spanning the whole country. But I think it's great. I think for football, to have Big Ten football on all day and all night, that's awesome.
You're outpacing wins-wise your first go-around with this. Does that change expectations for you going into this season?
I have a vision of what we're there to do and how we're going to do it. And then from there, I just kind of keep my head down. We talk about chopping all the time, and that chop in the moment, to me, is the key, right? And I think, there's 2 thieves. There's the past and there's the future. And they'll steal from the present if you're not careful. So we really work on programmatically keeping everybody in the here and now, and that keeps it kind of simple, too.
As much as it's 2 different seasons, can you take a bowl game win and kind of push that momentum into a following season?
I don't know. There's so much time and activity that occurs in between. I think what you do, though, is you learn from every experience, right? We're all an accumulation of our experiences. So to go through that experience, beat a traditional program like Miami in the game, that was big. Again, a lot of the coaches have done this before, but these players haven't. So it's a step in the direction that we need to go.
I got to ask you about Kyle Monangai, just a special workhorse back and obviously one of the top running backs in college football. What does he bring for your offense when you have that guy that you can turn around and hand the ball to him 20 times a game and guaranteed to get over 1,000 yards?
Well, there's no guarantees, first off, but, I think it starts with the offensive line. And Kyle will be the first one to tell you that. They've improved and are continuing to improve. And then Kyle is just such a violent runner. He's patient, and then when he decides to go, my goodness, and he doesn't stop. And, Kirk Shiraka, our offensive coordinator, and Kyle Monangai, they're made for each other. I mean, what we do offensively and how we do it, and Kyle's just been, doing a tremendous job, and we need him to.
What about the growth in pass protection from him? I think that's, everybody knows how good of a runner he is, but when you watch the games, the blocks he makes, it just feels like he has a different DNA for the position.
Well, he came, I'll be honest, Dan Sabella, his head coach at Don Bosco Prep, did a great job getting him prepared because he came to Rutgers understanding protection, understanding how to, he understood the scheme, and he's just gotten better and better and better. And Damir Shore, our running backs coach, does a great job of teaching. Everybody wants to carry the ball, but that part where you got to go block that defensive end, and especially in this league, could be 290-pound defensive end. Kyle has shown it time and time again on tape that he'll stone him.
You get a transfer quarterback in Ethan Kaliak-Manis. What kind of playmaking does he bring to the table? I know a younger, more inexperienced quarterback, but somebody that's had some big flashes in the conference already.
I think the fact that he's played in this league and won in this league, that's important. He's done a great job coming into Rutgers and assuming nothing, learning everything, and slowly establishing himself as our quarterback and as our leader. And one of the reasons I named him starter right after the spring game was he earned it. It was clear, and that gave him this opportunity this summer, I really feel, to make this his team, and I think he's done a good job of that.
Having an established run game, what does that do for a quarterback, especially his first year starting for this program?
I think it certainly takes the heat off a little bit, right? The fact of the matter is, today's game, some of this pass game is just an extension of the run game. So he's very good at doing that. He's shown the ability to throw the deep ball. I'm excited, though, about his leadership. I'm excited about his mind for the game, but he's got to go do it, and that's what we're all hoping and waiting and praying to see. But I have a lot of confidence in Nathan. He's our kind of guy.
The defense was stout last year. What kind of jump can you expect from them, and how did they do it?
Well, Coach Harasimiak, I mean, he's a special coach. I've never been more excited about our leadership, with Coach Shiraka and Coach Harasimiak. And Coach Harasimiak coordinates our defense, does a great job. We have a lot of returning guys, a lot of guys that'll be NFL players. So they need to go out and play. And again, don't let the future steal, and don't let that past steal. Stay right here and do it. And I think our guys really believe that. They've bought into that, and now we got to go do it.
You hinted at some of the changes in the college football landscape. Just what kind of new challenges does that bring, and how much harder does that make coaching at the college level?
A lot of people love to talk about it. It's not the same. The kids are the same.
Right.
Do they have a little more money in their pocket? Yeah, my parking lot at the facilities changed. I can promise you that. It looks a little different. But our players, one of the things about our program that we make very clear during recruiting, and now we've been there for 4 years, these guys have, with the exception of a few, have all been recruited by my staff, is they understand exactly what they're coming to. We're different. We have to be different. We don't have the blue blood, big-time program. We've been playing longer than anybody, but it was at a lower level for a lot of years. So we have to be different. And the guys choose Rutgers, I believe, because they believe in the way they're going to be developed, not just on the football field, but as men and academically and in life. And when they get there, it's hard. And I want them to know it's going to be hard. I don't try to candy coat that, but I think, the payoff is big.
Did coaching at the NFL level help you a little more than maybe a college coach that didn't have experience with pros as the game kind of changes? And like you said, you hinted at the NIL and the transfer portal and all this change.
I think a little bit. Unfortunately, when I went to the NFL, I didn't really understand the business side of it. I learned on the fly. Not a good idea, just for future reference. But I think I learned a lot about the business side of it. And then there's more of that in college football now, right, with NIL and now with the potential of the revenue share. So it's an interesting time. But as I've said to a lot of people, they say, it's never been – we've had upheavals. I've been doing this 37 years. We've had upheavals at different times, at different segments, and we'll have more. But college football is still the greatest game there is. And this stuff will settle down, and college football will continue to be the greatest game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.